just had the most peaceful morning. I got up really early. I read my Bible. I spent some time in prayer. It felt so good. Then I got up, got my daughter up and ready for school, out the door, and I enjoyed me a nice little breakfast by myself. Sometimes I will sit and eat breakfast with my son when he gets up, but sometimes I just like to enjoy my breakfast alone because as an introverted person, I enjoy being by myself. And it's interesting because I used to could not stand being an introvert even before I knew what introversion was. I have this cousin. We were super close growing up. We hung out all the time. Sometimes I would spend almost a whole summer at her house. But we are the complete opposites though. She is so outspoken and lively and just bold, you know. She is funny. I just admired her so much, and there was so many times, especially when we got around middle school, that I just wish that I was like her. I've been known to be a quiet person, and people will say that to an introverted person and say it all the time to the point that it just gets really old, or just take you for being shy and call you shy, and after a while it gets really annoying. So when you don't know who you are, when you're growing and you don't have the tools or a lot of positivity being poured into you, you start thinking that you need to be a certain way to get a certain thing or feel a certain way. And that's how I felt like I needed to be louder and prouder to be accepted. Introverts have a lot of struggles, and I think a lot of us don't like the fact that we're introverts, or even if we do like the fact that we're an introvert, we're just not comfortable because so often we have to conform to the group work of society, gathering at work, the potlucks, parties, projects at school, partnering up with somebody in a class or in an event. Humans are sociable people, and the United States is geared toward collaboration. There are some countries out there that are geared more toward introversion. Many countries in Asia, I believe. I think it's important to note that the spectrum of introversion is large, because I think sometimes people confuse being an introvert with social anxiety, or sometimes some people who are introverted have social anxiety, and a lot of that is because we feel pressure and always have been to be a certain way. But I'm just here to say that I have really realized over the course of my inner work for the past 2 years that being introverted is really lit. It's actually really lit. I don't need to go down the whole list of struggles that we have as an introvert, or that you might see in somebody that you know that is introverted, because most of us already know, or we feel them, or we have seen them in someone else. But we have so many other dope qualities that should make you happy and really proud to be an introvert. I still have my struggles, of course, but y'all know I do my inner work and I work with God to get through it, okay? And as much as I still love and admire my cousin, I don't want to be like her. I'm happy to be the way I am, and I'm thankful the way God made me, and I really mean that. And look, this video is not a shot at extroverted people at all. I love extroverted people. I love introverted people. And I think it's important to know who you are and qualities and traits about yourself, but not to get too stuck to a title. But I'm just here to highlight many of the things about being an introvert that is important to know, so that you can start loving who you are as an introvert and coming into yourself, into your body, and being happy with where you're at and who you are. First, we're usually very introspective people. We listen to what people are saying to us, we interpret what is being said, and we actually think about it. Most of us read often. We're very observant people, and we have discernment. We're able to feel and use that intuitive information along with our knowledge to really think something through. Having this deep sense of self is not something that everybody has. Introverted people are very self-aware, and I think it's more likely for someone introverted to be self-aware, because many times we're in our head instead of talking. And being like this really makes it easier for you to learn, easier for you to grow and make a plan to get somewhere or do what it is that you want to do. I thought self-awareness was something innate everybody was born with, but it's just not. Some people have no clue what they're doing, how they're acting, what they're saying. They're just being, and just being is cool. But sometimes you really do have to slow down and think about what you're doing and think about what you're saying and how you live in your life. And some people really, they just go with the flow. We also have a very healthy relationship with being in silence. We really saw this during 2020 and 2021. A lot of people struggled because they were not well adapted to being alone. My husband is in the military and he often has to leave the country to go work somewhere else, and every time he has to start over, he's in a new country, he doesn't know anybody, and there's always a period of time where I make sure I'm there to support him, because he's more of an extrovert and he really struggles with not having that group of people to talk to hang out with. But he has such a great personality. He's so likable. People gravitate to him every time, and I always tell him that, and it always happens. So he always gets through it. But seeing that so close and seeing it over and over, it's like, man, extroverted people really do struggle with being in silence and being alone. I don't know what it is about it, but a quiet, empty space is a space in which an introvert can thrive. It's so important to be able to work with people and be around people, but there's also so many times where we are going to be alone. My daughter, I see it already. She's 8. She likes to be around people too. And a part of our day is for me to implement independent time. She has independent time for 2 hours where she reads, does art, maybe watch a little TV, or we just have to diversify that 2 hours of time. Sometimes she'll even ask me, what should she do? I'm like, go figure it out. Because at some times in your life, you're gonna be by yourself. I have always been someone who's comfortable with eating by myself, going to the movie by myself. I'm comfortable and I feel fine. And I've met many people who are like, oh no, I can't do that. Why not? Do you feel like you would look weird, or would you actually feel weird or uncomfortable? Is it scary? I don't really know. But being able to be alone and be in silence is such a vibe, because some people are actually really afraid of it or uncomfortable with it and they run from it. You might get talked about a lot because you don't like to go anywhere, or because you spend a lot of time doing something that doesn't require a lot of noise. But that's okay. Like, it's actually cool. At any time in your life, if you do get to a point where you're going somewhere new, or you're starting somewhere fresh, or you're going through a hard time and you're isolated, or you need to isolate yourself, or anything that requires you being alone, you are going to make it out without crumbling to pieces. We also find joy in the simple things. I just sat and ate a bagel and sliced banana for breakfast, and that just felt so wholesome to me. We really don't need a lot of excitement or a lot of noise or a lot of really anything to feel happy and complete. Now, don't get me wrong, I like to step out, I like to go do fun stuff. I love traveling. It's top 3 one of my favorite things to do. I like being outside, but I don't have to do stuff constantly to keep me happy. I can sip on a little warm cup of tea and read one of the books I've been getting into and be happy as heck. We also don't need to be entertained by somebody. Extroverted people love to be around people, and sometimes they need to be. Mind you, they like their time and space alone as well, because at the end of the day, we all people, you know? We all need the same things in different ways, but we're really good at entertaining ourselves. Going for a walk is entertainment. Going to a movie by ourselves, going out to dinner by ourselves, going to a festival by ourselves. Now, again, that social anxiety might come in. That might not be, somebody might not be able to do that. But I know personally that is something I could do. I could walk through a street market or something like that by myself and be just fine. As an introvert, your own thoughts can entertain you. We have fun playing around with ideas and creative things in our head. That's, you know, so much time that went by and you like, oh shoot, I need to be working on da-da-da or do da-da-da. The entertainment comes easy because it's already within us. It's within all of us, but we really don't have to do a lot to go chase entertainment. We are the entertainment, period. Another thing, conversation with us is so dope, so insightful, and so very refreshing. The way we think, the way we process information, we're going to give you a fresh perspective, especially if we're talking to someone we care about or something that we care about. We're gonna give you the tea. Relationships, despite what people think, are very important to us. We just don't need a whole gang of people. Really, only 1 to 3 quality people is, you know, could check a box for us. Good conversation, something as simple and wholesome as good conversation, is something that's so fulfilling to us. One good conversation in the week could charge our whole battery and have us on high for the whole week. I love that. Some people have to be constantly inspired, constantly poured in, constantly motivated. You get one good conversation in, especially like a conversation of dialogue between you and somebody else, you would be feeling really good, because it's like all that stuff just sits in you. You have things to actually think about, break down, just have fun with it in your mind to really keep you going. I think we're actually really bomb friends. We care about the quality of our relationships, the depth of a relationship, the depth of a friendship, what's really there. I take every single one of my relationships, whether family or friends, seriously. And I don't have the deepest relationship or friendship with everybody, because I just can't. I don't have that kind of time. Nobody has that kind of time. But when I'm talking to you and we're locked in, I'm locked in. I realize that I have limitations because I'm so far away from all of my friends and my family, but I do what I can, and I'm gonna make sure that even if I cannot show up, that you know, and that you know that I care about you. Like, I'm gonna stand 10 toes. And I probably should have mentioned this in the beginning, but this is most relative to a healed introvert, because an unhealed introvert would struggle with some of these things, because an unhealed introvert would struggle with like boundaries, people pleasing, social anxiety, and things like that. But overall, when we are well balanced and we're in ourselves, in our body, and we have you and we love you, come on, we locked in. Working in a work environment or just putting in work in general, our work is top tier, especially when you put us in the right environment where we can be by ourselves and just focus on our work. Mind you, we all struggle with distractions from time to time, especially this day and age, but we can really get to work. We don't have to try to find a bunch of techniques to help us stay focused and help us get on task, because we don't need those constant breaks of, oh, I need to talk to somebody. Because you know, there's always at least one person at work who loves being around people and who loves to talk, and it's like, dang, I can't even get no work done because you just talking my head off. I was the type of worker where I could stay in my cubicle and work all day long. Like, I don't need to talk to anybody. If I run into somebody in hall or whatever and we have a conversation, cool, yeah, chit chat with you, like I'm good, like we can socialize, but I'm not just gonna choose to be out mingling, visiting people at their cube. People used to come visit me at my cube all the time, and I'm just like, I'm actually trying to work. We don't play about our work. And another thing that I really love about myself, that I really love about being an introvert, is that we have a behind the scenes energy, like a producer. We don't always need to be in the spotlight. Of course, you know, we like to get our flowers and be commended and honored in certain situations, but we don't have to have the whole world know I did this, I did that, or everybody looking at us. You are already full inside with all of the work that you did, and when you see everything come together and come to be like you intended it to, or even better, it's like the end result means so much to us, just seeing it all come together. Being an introvert is really where it's at. It's really where it's at. And once you get to a point where you know that, but you are also experiencing that as a person, and you're living that out, and you don't feel so pressured to be someone else or to act some other way, you can actually really tap into all the goodness of being an introvert and understand that everybody has a place in this world. Introverts have a place in this world just like extroverts. We need that balance. I used to think it would benefit me to be with somebody who was an introvert, but my husband be putting me in uncomfortable situations sometimes, and I appreciate it because I need it to help me grow. I don't want to be stunted. Just because I'm not good at some things or I'm not comfortable with some things doesn't mean I want to run away. I'm willing to go through the uncomfort so that I can learn how to get good at this, so it can at least be somewhat comfortable, so I can keep getting where I want to be in life and be the person that I want to be. I'm never going to be an extrovert as hard as I try, and believe me, I've tried. It feels like you're going against the grain, but you don't have to be like that. You have so many great qualities, and it's really a good vibe over here. You just gotta learn that it's accepted and needed in this world, and love yourself, and really realize that nobody actually really needs you to be someone that you're not. And the people that make you feel like that don't even really like you. They just want you to be a puppet. And freedom for real is being who God made you to be. Until the next one, peace and love. I'm out.